Howdy. Today we're going to be talking about the 2015 thriller Mr. and Mrs. Smith. This movie is a lot of fun and brings back a ton of pop culture nostalgia, but holy shit do I not remember how cartoony this movie is. There's a lot of points that bring this closer to a Looney Tunes movie than the sexy sleek thriller that it's attempting to be. Despite that though, this movie was insanely popular, grossing nearly $500 million, and it was super entertaining and fun. Most of the hype came from the tabloids over-reporting the cheating scandal between Brad Pitt, Jennifer Aniston, and Angelina Jolie, but woo, let me tell you a little bit about the plot before we get into the marriage that this sexy spy thriller ended.
Holy look at all this damage!
We start our movie just like my parents' marriage, in therapy.
Boom. Roasted.
They talk about how their 5-year,
6 years.
6-year relationship is on the rocks, and they start to reminisce about how their relationship really started.
Yeah, it's rewind time.
Jump cut, Colombia, where they first met by being sneaky snakes sneaking away from the Colombian police. Even though they are the world's best spies, they still can't recognize that their significant others are living equally sneaky spy lives, so they're somehow living completely oblivious to each other's real jobs.
Doesn't anyone notice this? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills!
Their covers are that John works in construction and Jane works in tech support. Honestly, the fact that their names are John and Jane Smith is probably enough to raise red flags throughout the neighborhood.
You're a fake and a fraud!
But whatever, get over it. The two spies get assigned to capture Adam Brody, and because of the overlap, the missions get compromised, and now they are assigned to kill each other because of that.
Oh, no.
This finally sets off the alarm bells, and they realize who their partner is in a scene that perfectly embodies this whole movie. It's pretty great. It's really great.
I don't know what this is, but it's kind of hot.
I got it.
I'll get a towel.
Jane, stop the car! Now! You're overreacting!
Let's not get carried away. We don't want to go to sleep angry. Now look! We need to talk!
Finally, we get to the fun stuff because this is my favorite part of the movie, and it starts off with a bang. In two different ways, actually.
Wow!
We finally get the team up that this movie poster promised, and these two start fucking shit up as a team. Two agencies are now trying to kill the spy duo, so they gotta escape to safety. Even though it is life or death though, the honesty starts to come out, and our favorite spy couple starts opening up to each other in a really fun way.
I never really liked your cooking. It's not your gift.
Baby, I've never cooked a day in my life.
Web of lies. Hey, honey, I should probably tell you. I was married once before.
Are you out of your mind? What is wrong with you?
You're what's wrong with me.
It's a drunken Vegas thing.
Oh, that's better.
Stop.
Oh, that's much better.
A
That's
great
better.
action sequence that I really love. Here comes Vince Vaughn.
Jesus, Johnny.
Good morning, Eddie.
Why? Tell me you got smart and that you killed that lying bitch.
This line, bitch.
Guess it was just wishful thinking. I'm sorry.
Eddie,
It's nice to see you, Jane.
Eddie.
He basically lays down the truth and says that they should probably separate so they can escape, or go on one final mission and give both the spy agencies exactly what they're looking for, a ratty Adam Brody. Here we get a tiny bit of Kerry Washington, but it's so fucking brief that I don't even know why I mentioned it.
This is as far as we go, Jane.
She gives them the location, and now it's time to go retrieve Seth Cohen from the OC. They interrogate this guy with some crazy threats and find out that he's really just bait.
Option A, we talk, we listen, no pain. Option B, we don't talk. I remove your thumbs with my pliers. It will hurt. Option C, I like to vary the details a bit, but the punchline is, you die.
Can I get a soda? Or a juice? Or ice?
Hey, option A. That hurt.
Okay, that was a nice shot.
I'm not the target, you are. Both of you. They found out you're married, so they teamed up and sent you to the same hit to target each other. Two competing agents living under the same roof? It's bad for business. They wanted you to take each other out.
They have a final fight in a department store, killing tons of what would be their former co-workers. Gotta be a little awkward. But just like that, the movie ends just like it began. Back in therapy, where the marriage is now thriving.
Doing all right, aren't we? I mean, listen, I'm not gonna lie to you. There were times I just wanted to kill her, but
Likewise.
couldn't take the shot.
That's a good sign.
Who would've thought?
Sometimes you have to battle through.
That's marriage, right?
Yeah, you take your best shot, and
Oh, we redid the house.
we did. Yes, we did.
You know, there will always be challenges. Threats out there. Yep. But you can handle it together.
So far.
Yes, we can. So far? What is that?
Leaving room for the unknown.
So far.
Originally, the director Doug Liman. Doug Liman's plan was to have Brad Pitt and Nicole Kidman as the starring duo, which would have been wild. Maybe we could have had an alternative universe where Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt publicly beefed over the love of Nicole, but after she dipped out, Brad dipped as well, and then we got a slew of other rumored cast duos that would have been honestly great movies. Will Smith and Catherine Zeta-Jones, Johnny Depp and Cate Blanchett. Even the Hollerback Girl and Iron Man's goopy wife were attached to the project at one point, but the casting was complete once Angelina Jolie signed on, and Pitt suspiciously came crawling back to re-sign. One of my favorite parts about this movie is the insanely great chemistry between Brad and Angelina. It's no surprise that this shit looks authentic because it literally led to the ending of his marriage to Jennifer Aniston. Let's dive on in. Let's dive into the biggest pop culture event of the 2000s. Something to keep in mind is that although this movie came out in June of 2005, it was actually filmed in January 2004. In the summer of 2000, two high-profile Hollywood weddings took place between massive celebrities. Brad Pitt and Jennifer Aniston, and Angelina Jolie and Billy Bob Thornton. Holy shit, I'm not even joking. How did this happen? Billy Bob Thornton? Wow. Braniston was born as the it couple, and Jolie and Billy Bob just didn't quite have that it factor that the public craved. Billy Bob Jordan? Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't roll off the tongue as well. They divorced only 2 years later. It just could never work. Braniston was quite the opposite, though, and they were insanely sought after by the media, and it perfectly coincided with the pop culture boom that was happening in the early 2000s. People were obsessed with this couple, and they really were everywhere at every single grocery store. January 2004 rolls around, and married man Brad starts filming the sexy thriller Mr. and Mrs. Smith with his newly single co-star. Uh-oh. May 2004 is when the rumors first start brewing about growing intimacy between the Smiths on set. The tabloids are a-buzzing. August 2004 had even more drama when some set photos got released and Jolie and Pitt getting awfully close. Then, the pop culture world was shaken when on January 7th, 2005, after 7 years of being together, Braniston announced their separation. A day that will truly live in infamy. A few months later, they officially divorced, and Los Angeles wept. A truly sad time for us all. Everyone assumed it was because of Angelina Jolie, but nothing was confirmed until Brangelina emerged from the cocoon in July 2005, just a few months after his divorce was finalized, and officially came out of the closet with this super gross W magazine spread where they essentially just flaunt their relationship in the face of the world. I honestly feel bad for Jennifer Aniston at this time because it's gotta be rough to see this all happening with your ex.
Oh, look who it is, my husband, the apple of my eye.
So yeah, that was a lot of shit happening between the filming, promotion, and release of this movie, and all of that really did a ton to help it at the box office. Everyone wanted to see the movie that led to the separation of Hollywood's favorite couple.
I'm obsessed with Angelina Jolie. It's kind of a sickness.
It's just so great to say I was in the scene with those two guys. Doesn't get better than that.
I didn't think there would be this many people here, though. I didn't think this is like more than the movie awards, I think. This is kind of insane. This is amazing. Wow.
After this, Brangelina had a bunch more kids and seemed pretty happy, but Brad has got a Brad. And although the separation started 7 years ago, it is still ongoing, with custody battles for the children and a really messy legal battle over the winery, Chateau Miraval.
Welcome back, everybody, to Relax It's Just Wine. I'm Tony Del Sol. And a day like this, you want something like this. The Miraval Rosé from Provence. It's so damn good. I mean, this would go great with any salad. And you probably know them because of Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. They bought this, and they're in the news everywhere right now with that big lawsuit because Angelina sold her shares to somebody else. And Brad's a little pissed, so he's suing her for millions of dollars. But he's still the co-owner, and he's still hands-on.
Ugh, it's pretty rough, and it really does seem like Brad Pitt is the culprit for all of the messiness in it. He seems like quite the dickhead. Brad Pitt as John Smith?
Well, we're waiting.
Was pretty good, though.
Yay!
Much better than he is at being a husband, that's for sure.
No, Chris, not yay.
He's got that raw power of a spy with a little bit of charm mixed in. Feels like most of his movies kind of have that same vibe, but he really plays it so well. I really loved the drunk poker scene from Pitt. It showed a great range of emotions, it was written well, and the whole scene really came together great. I wish there was more scenes like this in the movie, because this little fun spy shit is what the movie was really missing more of.
What the hell is this?
Sorry, Lucky.
Looks like you jumped, pal. Thanks for the memories.
Were you lucky?
Yeah, no kidding. So what is the kid? Waiting for a job or something?
You are the job.
This is real shit. It's interesting. It's an interesting phenomenon is what it is. That's a damn phenomenon.
When I look through Pitty's filmography, there's a lot of standouts. He is honestly one of my favorite actors because he has so many unique performances that I'm really a huge fan of. Fight Club is an obvious biggie. I don't want to sound too much like a film bro, but I love this movie, and his memorable crazy is one of the biggest reasons why. It's great. Chad in Burn After Reading was a ton of fun too. I just can't get this dance out of my head. I love it so much. It's so well done, so much physicality, and it's so fun.
You should put up a note in the ladies' locker room.
Put up a note? Highly classified shit found? Signals intelligence shit? CIA shit? Hello? Did anybody lose their secret CIA shit? I don't think so. I don't know you.
My favorite role from him is a weird one, though. It's from the TV show Jackass. They staged him getting kidnapped in front of a movie theater, and it's just honestly so funny. Great concept. I'm glad that we have this clip for the world.
Hi, I'm Brad Pitt, and I'm gonna get abducted.
On the TV show, we actually put Brad Pitt in front of Pink's hot dog stand. And he was just minding his own business, standing in line, and we kidnapped him. And I think that was, he played it so great, it was a little scary.
What just happened?
Brad Pitt got kidnapped. Brad Pitt was in line and he was just kidnapped and thrown into a van. I'm really not kidding.
And then we put him in a gorilla suit. Took the best looking man on the planet and put him in a gorilla suit.
Bam was furious about that. He's like, we got Brad Pitt. Why are you covering his fucking face? And Bam made a point.
Yeah, we don't know what we're doing.
He's a really great actor, but most of that comes from his charm.
Don't mind me, just came to see the show. Great show, by the way, so far. You're killing it.
He's super charismatic, but his range really isn't that crazy. He plays Brad Pitt really well, but I'll be impressed when he actually takes on some roles that are outside of his normal hot guy persona that he always plays.
He's motherfucking peanut butter and jealous.
Angelina Jolie as Jane Smith was kinda all over the place, but I can't really blame her.
I blame the government.
She really nailed everything with Pitt, and she looked amazing, but her scenes with her being a badass agent at the agency was a little goofy. I think most of the goofiness came from the goofy plot that didn't really fill in any details. They just kind of threw her into a fancy spy room with a bunch of employees, but don't really fill in anything else, which leaves the whole development kind of sloppy and unfinished. Pitt did a great job with his job because the writers did a better job of developing his job, and wow, I just said job a lot of times. It made it a lot simpler with a much smaller team. I wish we could have seen that same love for Jolie's job too.
I mean, that's sexist, but okay.
Her acting career has been a bit sporadic because it seems obvious that she doesn't really care that much about it anymore. She's done so much amazing humanitarian work with focuses on helping impoverished countries, the environment, sex trafficking, forced labor of children, and women's rights. It's pretty amazing how much time and money she has put into her causes, and she deserves all the applause for that.
What I would just ask is that we open up ourselves to care deeply when we see people in pain. Remember the women in Afghanistan, remember the people in Congo, but just to be conscious of each other as human beings and aware and to not forget is one of the most important things we can do.
She got her acting start though in 1995 with Hackers.
Hide the planet! Hide the planet!
Shut up and get in the car!
Hide the planet!
This movie is just so fucking 90s with how wacky the computer graphics are, and there's so much fun to be had with watching this movie with the hindsight of how computer tech has evolved. It's stupid, but it's a really fun stupid, and Jolie's a lot of fun in it too. Wanted was another dumb movie of hers that was insanely entertaining and fun. The entire movie is driven by the concept of curving bullets with the flick of their wrist, which is so dumb, but really intriguing at least. I love the idea of the writers at some point asking a physicist if any of this movie could be possible and then just ignoring the pleas of the scientist and saying, fuck it, we ball.
Shit!
She's a great actress with some really impressive roles in the 90s and super fun roles in the 2000s. She's just so great and has evolved into an amazing mother and role model for people everywhere because she's fucking killing it these days. Definitely is the winner of the Brangelina breakup.
Yes, queen! Slay! Slay! Slay your enemies! Ruler of one of the realms of men! Smite down those that oppose you!
Vince Vaughn was also really great in this role. Great shit from him and really helped out with leveling out the movie with some laughs.
Mom! We're on high alert here! I almost killed you right there! You do not even realize!
Never mind.
There's just something about mid-2000s Vaughn that is just so fucking likable. He's cool, he's quippy, and he loves his mama.
Don't you go out? With friends?
The boy's best friend's his mother.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Giving Adam Brody the nickname The Tank is one of the funniest jokes in this movie. I'll always love this goofball, not from the insanely popular role in The OC.
Mom,
Oh, I get it. I'm just here for the comic relief.
But from his cringy fun performance in the 2003 classic Grind.
I sprained my tank.
Probably because you forgot to stretch. Listen, put some soda pop on it. Another clockwise, please.
This movie is so dumb, but in all the best ways. Such a fun time.
Look, it's a lizard! I just got violated by a lizard, man. Actually, that felt kind of good.
Keith David is barely shown physically in this movie, but they use his voice a bunch, and I love that.
I told you we couldn't afford any mistakes on this one.
There was another player.
We do not leave witnesses.
He has such a unique voice that is so pleasing to the ear holes.
You know me, I'm reverse giraffe. I have a short neck and legs.
I wish he could have been in it more, and that his character was more developed, but I'm definitely biased from spending so much time in the row.
Listen, we've got enough clout right now for one major bill, not both. What do you want me to push forward? Do you want to be the president who cured cancer or the president who solved world hunger?
He was so amazing in the video game Saints Row 4 as the vice president. Ugh, I wish that we can get more from this game.
As for hunger, tell the kitchen to fix me a smoothie.
Good choice.
Kerry Washington was technically in this movie, but she was really just used as a communication tool for Jolie.
This is as far as we go, Jane.
It felt like a big mistake to neglect her and Keith David so much in this movie, because the audience really needed some more stability and development from Jolie's workplace, because it felt so incomplete.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
But whatever. If I was the director and I saw the palpable chemistry between Pitt and Jolie, I would probably drop all other character developments too and just focus on the sexy fun between them.
W's in the shot.
Doug Liman is one of the most underrated directors of our time. That might be an exaggeration, but I do really love this guy's shit. Swingers and Go are some of my favorite 90s nostalgic movies because it perfectly epitomizes the end of the millennia so well.
You were great tonight. There she is, the wonderful lady.
Why do you have to a major production every time we go out and embarrass me? You know what? Oh, God. Jesus Christ, that's what all I do.
Our little boy is all grown up tonight. And you know what, big boy? You're grown up. You're grown up. Yeah, I did that. Is this a fucking production for you? Because you're grown up and you're grown up and you're grown up.
He also did The Bourne Identity and Edge of Tomorrow, which are great action movies that elevate themselves above the rest of the typical action schlock with some really unique plots and twists and turns that are super interesting.
Tom Cruise lives, dies, and repeats in the sci-fi war film Edge of Tomorrow. But once the dust has settled, the final moments are a bit confusing.
They're a little dumb, but not as dumb as his other movies, and they're just really well done. They're great action movies.
Trash. Yeah, I love trash. Yum, yum, trash.
Hell yeah, I love that little guy.
His recent stuff is pretty bad, though. Chaos Walking sucked.
Awkward.
A decently fun concept.
You know what? No, not really. It's not awkward, at least not until you said awkward. Now it's awkward because of what you said. Anyway what?
A decently fun concept that had all the thoughts of men in this movie projected out loud above their head.
Whoa, stop! Don't come any closer. It's a girl. Girl. Oh my gosh, girl. I'm sorry. No blonde hair. I've just never seen a girl before. Who are you?
It's a fun idea, but it is executed so poorly, and the movie was boring as fuck. It took like 3 years after it was completed for it to be released because it was in such rough shape. The new Roadhouse movie that's coming out this year will probably be bad too. I mean,
It's gonna be so bad.
why do we need a remake to Roadhouse? But I'm gonna give him a little bit of time on this one. It could be fun. Probably won't be, but it is possible.
Before we start, do you have insurance?
What?
Your coverage good? Like, you have dental?
Oh, haha.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith was written by Simon Kinberg. He's written sexy spy thrillers before, but this one is definitely his best. He teamed up with the Dougster after this to make one of my favorite dumb movies, Jumper.
Let me tell you about my day so far. Coffee in Paris, surfed the Maldives, took a little nap on Mount Kilimanjaro. Oh yeah, and I got digits from this Polish chick in Rio. And then I jumped back for the final quarter of the NBA Finals. Courtside, of course. And all that was before lunch. I could go on, but all I'm saying is, I'm standing on top of the world.
You can kind of tell that's the same duo because they have the same strange mix of serious and slapstick that I unironically really enjoy. They just make fun movies together. The plots are dumb with a lot of holes, but very entertaining and super memorable. Whenever I think about teleportation as a superpower, I always envision it as it was in Jumper.
What is happening?
Before finishing up, I gotta talk a little bit about the music in this movie because the music is a wee bit distracting.
This is the worst.
It uses some goofy generic spy score, and it leans a little bit too heavily into the Looney Tunes spy thriller that this movie so often resembles. They also threw in some strange licensed music choices that didn't really fit the goofy or the serious aspects of the film. Like, did we really need an Express Yourself needle drop at the end? Probably not.
There was concern on the part of the studio and some of my producers that the footage that I was getting was too dramatic in terms of what was going on within the home life of John and Jane Smith. Sitting at dinner talking about peas, Brad's suspicion about her. They felt it wasn't necessarily fun to watch. It might be off-putting to the audience. The studio was willing to pay for me to spend half a day shooting a narrator for the movie. And although I didn't believe we needed it, they were willing to pay for it, and in case I was wrong, I agreed to go shoot it. So we chose to use Adam Brody's character as the narrator.
Let's try it. You tell me what you think. All right, let's try it.
And the thought process on the part of the studio and the producers was that it gives you a little bit of distance from what's going on screen. It's a little bit of separation so that you can watch this pain and suffering but not necessarily be immersed in it and experiencing that yourself. They were never actually cut into the movie because the first time I showed the film to the producers, I showed it without the narration, but I showed it with very light music that I felt would tell the audience it's okay to laugh at their misery. And the producers in the studio agreed with me that we actually didn't need the narration.
Most of this movie has a tinge of satire on the spy genre, but I feel like the music pushed it a little bit overboard at certain points. They definitely could have toned it down a lot.
Yeah, well, that's just like your opinion, man.
At the end of the day, it is a great movie, but besides the great dynamics between the two leads and the drama surrounding them, there's not really much to hold on to. The plot is super stupid and complicated for no reason. The other characters are poorly developed with no real antagonist, and the effects are pretty damn bad. There's some great choreography sprinkled within, but that's mostly only in the house clash scene, because the rest of the choreography is pretty rough. It's fun to look back on and get a nostalgic rush of dopamine from the pop culture fiasco that was Brangelina, but if you're immune to that, it's probably gonna be a pretty boring movie that tries way too hard to be cool. But fuck all that criticism. You see how hot Brad and Angelina were together? Damn, that's all that really matters. And hey, maybe subscribe, maybe like this video, shoot me a comment of what you think about it. I'm watching the new Mr. and Mrs. Smith right now, the Prime show, and I'm loving it. I mean, they're really taking the good parts of this movie and making it serious with great acting, great effects, great writing too. It really is the serious version of this movie. But yeah, tell me what you think about Mr. and Mrs. Smith, the movie, the TV show, or just tell me what you want to see me cover next.